Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Fangirls Only. This week our special guest is Adam Ambrose. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
I'm good. Okay. So, before we start, do you want to tell us a little about yourself?
Um, my name is Adam. I'm 25 years old. I've been making music for 5-ish years. No, 6 now. I'm completely self-taught and yeah, I just make music to try to make people feel things.
That's
And
cool.
I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we'll just start off with the questions now. So, the first question is, what's your favorite song that you've made?
Um, my favorite song that I've made I'm gonna do released and unreleased if that's okay.
Yes.
Released, my favorite song that I've done would have to be Breathe or Guilty When I Cry. Not necessarily because of how they sound, because if I'm going by sound, it'd be Simple Kind of Love. But um, the messages that I get every day from people uh, and how they tell me how the song impacts them and actually allows them to at least breathe or feel better about themselves makes me feel like music's worth it and makes me feel like I'm actually doing something rather than just like singing into a void or just creating music for money. I don't know why I find it weird that I make money from music. Um, but if I'm going unreleased, I wrote a song called Happy That You Exist. And the main reason that it's my favorite song is because the premise of the song is yeah, the world sucks. Like, I remember I was sitting down with myself recently and my dad told me to write a happy song. And I was like, okay, but what do I have to be happy about? The world kind of sucks. And and then I realized that it's like, yeah, even though things kind of suck, at least I'm alive. At least that I get time to be here. And yeah, I wrote the song and it's like it feels nice to listen to. I
Yeah.
don't know what that's the best way to put it. It actually makes me feel at peace.
Yeah. Okay. Are you working on any new music?
Right now I'm working on an EP and I still haven't decided what I want the premise to really be, but I'm thinking I just kind of want it to be the complications of just being alive today and what it's like being alive today. Um, yeah, like I have like I record like a song every single day, so probably 40 to 50 songs that I have finished, and I'm just trying to figure out which ones I actually like.
You can make like 5 albums of those songs.
You know what? You want to know a weird fact? So a lot of what is it? A lot of big artists like the Rolling Stones, even Caro, like the girl who's like Stay with me in my backyard, boy. She did an interview recently saying that she had like 500 songs. And like, it doesn't, okay, it sounds like a lot, but when you actually start writing as an artist, one thing that you start to realize, and even Coldplay is the same way, is that you have to write. You have to just go and go and go because you follow this train of creativity, the way that I like to put it. And that train, if you get it off the rails, it's really easy to kind of stop it. And then once the train starts going, it starts building momentum and gets to its optimal speed. That's when you start creating like the really, really good songs
Yeah.
towards the end, sometimes in the middle. But yeah, like one of my favorite Ed Sheeran interviews was him talking about the shit tap, which is you turn on a tap and he's talking about songwriting. And when you turn on the tap, it will run runny, gross water for a while. But if you keep the tap on, it will start running clear water with some shit here and there. And what that's pretty much when I saw that when I was younger, that made me realize that like songwriting is like any skill. You have to continuously work at it to get those songs out. So that's why most artists create so many songs, because usually when you first go write a song, you're not very motivated. You don't really care. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll try to do this. You get it done, and then you're like, okay, this one's really cool, but let's write another one and another one, and then one strikes gold, and then another one strikes gold. It's like there's a science to it, but there's also kind of like a banging your head against a wall.
Yeah. Okay. What inspired you to start making music?
I would say I've written poetry my entire life. Like I've always in high school I was like not in a great mental state at all. And I had no outlet. I was doing a lot of things to cope, like drugs. I would get into relationships because I was like lonely and stuff. But um no, like I started writing and then I found music. But then the main thing that kind of pushed me away from music is I was really bad at singing. I didn't have, I was very socially anxious. And the one thing that kind of made me want to do it was I went and saw Ed Sheeran and I just like watched him play and I realized that I could do it myself because he was looping, he was doing everything himself. And my main problem is everyone that I worked with would belittle me, put me down because I wasn't very good. Everyone that I would work with always had like a very different direction that they wanted to take things, so it felt like it was impossible for me to even want to do it. And then I saw him, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try, and I did, and then now I'm here 5 years later. So I was like, okay,
Okay. Sorry if I keep on going mute. There's a lot of background noise here. I'm
it's
here
chill. You
so,
don't have to worry about it.
yeah. If you would collab with any singer or songwriter, who would it be and why?
Um, I would have to say Jack Johnson or Ed Sheeran if we're no Jack Johnson or Alec Benjamin if we're talking like big artists. Mainly because I don't write songs with people that I don't mentally agree with. I don't care how good they are. I don't care if like you're selling millions of copies or whatever. Like, cause I've had big artists reach out to me and say that they wanted to write me an entire song, but for me as an artist, like I view music as a reflection of what everybody else in the world is thinking, and I don't really want to add to a culture that I don't necessarily agree with. And I like Jack Johnson and Alec Benjamin because Jack Johnson, he for one of his tours, he like was talking about water pollution because he's like a surfer, and he's all of the values that he has about the environment, family, how you treat people around you, and how we are as a society. Like it's kind of hippie stuff,
Yeah.
but like I think it's becoming more and more real as time goes on, and I think that it's important to be that way. So that's why I would collaborate with them. More less known artists, I would say Taunted, or who's a very talented artist. If the people watching this don't know who he is, go look up Start a War. He's super, super talented, and I love him.
This is the last question, and it's what's the worst part about being a singer?
The worst part about being a singer. um, I think it's so funny that you're like all worried. It's okay. Don't worry. Anyways, um, the worst part about being a singer, honestly, is people treat you like a jukebox. You'll go to a fire, like a camp or something, and people will be like, "Do you know this song?" I'm like, "No." Can you sing it? No. I've never heard that song in my life. um, I would say that's the worst part about being a singer is that people will expect you to just sing on point and be perfect all of the time. Uh, and I would also say that people think that singing is something you're born with, it's not.
So, thank you. Well,
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
yeah. Okay. Goodbye.
Have a good one.